In this video, we'll be continuing on our three-part series about how to systematize your agency. If you missed part 1 and 2, watch those before continuing on with this one. And if you're interested in this sort of thing, you can download my How to Systematize Your Agency mini course with the link in the video description below. In part 1 and 2, we identified our highest impact system and visualized that system down on paper or a whiteboarding tool. We implemented that system in a project management tool of our choice so that we had all of the information and tasks being created automatically for us when we needed them. In today's video, we'll be moving on to our final I, which is improve, where we'll be finding areas to optimize and streamline our processes. So without further ado, let's dive in. Step 1. System improvement session. To begin, let me introduce you to the most powerful session you will have in your company, and that is the system improvement session. Essentially, this is a 30-minute to an hour-long session where you gather your team and your key stakeholders who are involved in the system you're looking at, and you decide where you can find areas of improvement. Remember the process map from step 1 and 2, pull that up again and discuss with the team what could be improved. Now, there are many things you can use to improve your systems, so here's a non-exhaustive list to get you started. First, you have SOPs or standard operating procedures, and these can help when you're looking to delegate new tasks to new hires or to train up team members. There are also templates. The most common use case of this is email templates. So if you have a email that you send out on a recurring basis or that you're often sending out to clients, you can turn that into a template so that the writing process is cut in half. Checklists is another one. The most famous example of this is pilots who have their in-flight checklists. But as you're aware, we already have our tasks being pulled into our project management tool. So if there is a particular task that has many different sub-tasks within them, you could turn that into a checklist so that nothing is missed and you make sure that your team is checking everything off. In some cases, you can automate manual tasks using third-party tools like Make. So an example of this is if you have a Calendly booking, you could automate that Calendly booking being pulled into your CRM so that you then have that deal inside your pipeline for your sales team to begin work on it. AI is being used by companies more and more, and you can begin using AI in your own processes to streamline them. And then finally, improving the actual steps of a process themselves. So that might be rearranging the steps in the order that they happen, or it might be removing steps that aren't needed entirely. So taking a look at our Coaching Co example here, I'm going to go through and pretend that I'm sitting with the team and that we're looking at this map for areas of improvement. Now, one thing that we can do is note down all of our solutions on a sticky note like this. So the first thing I'm hearing from my team is that it takes quite a long time to write all of the different emails that they have to send to clients. So a solution that we come up with is to create email templates for all of the emails that we send to our clients to streamline that process. Another person in my team might also note that it's time consuming sending 3 separate emails. And so the suggestion is to combine each of those emails into a onboarding email and for the client to book their first call with us through that email. And then once they've booked that first call, we can then just schedule it to be repeated at the same time each week so that we don't have to resend an email before each session. Another problem that we might find is that once the client has actually paid the invoice, there is a delay from when they receive their onboarding email. And as we know, the first onboarding experience for a client is critical for their overall experience and how they feel they've been handled with us. So what we might implement here is an automation. And so what we could do is create an automation from our invoicing software that once they have been marked as paid, they then instantly receive their onboarding email. Finally, someone on the team might recall that we actually forgot to send a follow-up 30 days after sending our goodbye email to a client. And so a suggestion here would be to create another automation that essentially once the client is moved in Notion from deliver to completed, that we create an automation that after 30 days, that follow-up email is automatically sent. So we can note that down as well. So now you can see just within about a 30-minute session, we have discussed what the problems we were facing as we were going through our system on a day-to-day basis. And then we've come up with some solutions. And the solutions we have here, you can see is, for example, a template in the form of email templates. We have 2 automations that can be created. And then the other thing is that we've actually reduced the number of steps by changing one of our processes. So whereas before we had multiple booking sessions after each session, now we simply have one onboarding email, and that has reduced the number of steps by 2. So now our actual entire system is a lot simpler. So now we have our areas of improvement. It's now time to implement them, which we'll talk about in the next step. Step 2, implement improvements. So naturally, the first thing we'll want to do is actually take those improvements and add them into our task manager. Now, the reason we do this is we want whatever our project management system to be the source of truth. And so if these are actions that need to happen and we can't implement them immediately when we're inside the improvement session, we want to add them to our task manager. The other thing is I'm actually going to add it to the inbox of my task manager. And that is just a nice best practice when you're generally looking to project manage your team, in that if you have something that needs to get done, first put it in an inbox area and then decide what you want to do with it later. And so this basically allows your team to have time to actually prioritize what is the most important things that need to get done first, so that you just don't head rush into something because you've just talked about it in a session. So now you can see that translates to 3 tasks in our task manager: create the onboarding email template, create 2 automations, and the third or the fourth process step we had was just a process improvement to the steps themselves, and so nothing actually needs to be done in terms of actions. Now, it's important to note that there will be some things that are easier to implement than others. So I want to talk about a few methods or a few strategies that you can use to help with this improvement part of systematization. If you need to write any SOPs, you can check out my video on how to write SOPs fast for some guidance on how to do that. But I just want to reiterate in this video that it's not necessarily the responsibility of your managers or your C-suite members to create SOPs. Instead, it should be created by those people that actually are doing the tasks day in, day out. And so it might be better for one of your junior members of staff to create the SOPs for you. But if you want any more guidance in how to speed up the process of writing SOPs, definitely check out the video. If you have automations that you want to create but you're not quite sure how to do them, you can hire automation experts like myself, and they'll be able to do it for you for a charge. And for any email templates that you might want to create, if you're using Gmail, you can actually put the templates inside of your Gmail for quick access. Once you've implemented your improvements, you'll want to log them in your wiki inside your project management tool. And if you created any SOPs to help training new hires or staff that you want to do the tasks for you, another thing you can do is link those to the automated tasks that are being created inside of your client dashboard. So for example, if you move your client into the to deliver status and there is a task that is created that says host the kickoff call, you might have linked to that task an SOP that says how to host the kickoff call. Step 3, repeat. Now, the final step to this video and the final step for our 3-part video series is to repeat this process. What I want to reiterate here is that systematization is an ongoing process, and really it can never be completed. It is an iterative improvement that you're making to your business and to your systems. And so you can get into the habit or the routine of basically going through this cycle of identifying, implementing and improving, so that over time your systems can gradually get better and better, and also they can change and adapt to your business as it grows. So use the framework we have shown you in this video to iteratively improve on your system. And again, if you want to have a bit more detail on how to do this this process, you can check out my mini course in the video link in the description. If you would like to receive some expert support during this systematization process, you can book a free 30-minute discovery call with me where I can talk you through my process for helping businesses systematize their operations. And if you found this video useful, you can check check out my Notion for Agencies template tool, which is my Notion template that is built specifically for agencies. And finally, if you want to see more of this content, please do consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.